And our runners are off, both of them starting at Link's house. And both finding a glove to start things off. That's actually really good. And both opting for the Uncle route. And we see Beamo start along with Europa. Fortunately, not a great enemy set in order to try to snipe to get the bush crab. Or a poultry, rather, sorry. Have a bubble down here. Uncle only has 10 arrows. And there's the hook shot. That's a good item. It's a very good item. If we can get up the mountain, that's access to Paradox Cave. It's also a weapon to deal with some of the weaker enemies, like rats and those slimes we just saw. Souls, I believe their name is. So immediately save Wolverine to Sanctuary and finding the mirror. I assume JJBlu will be heading that way soon. There's our map check. Red Crystal at Eastern, but the other two dungeons are the non-green pendants. And we do have thieves here in the overworld. They are killable, thankfully. And a fish not far from Kakariko Village. That might be a good thing to consider. You turn a fish over to the merchant, and even outside of Randomizer, the merchant will give you a good amount of goodies. One of which is 8 bombs. So well worth your time to do it, if you want to. An Aghanim, not required for the Lumberjack Ledge, that's only 20 rupees. JJBlu not getting the information, but that's perfectly fine. Oh, the Topos. They're a fun little enemy. They normally jump out of grass, but when they spawn like this, you can just talk to them and get a free item from their drop pool. Oh wow, the flute is here as well in the mushroom spot. That is insane. This start is insane. They already have access to Paradox Cave. And there's a fish right there as well. Both runners gonna opt to carry this over to the merchant. Have to dodge the Ropa and the Helmosaur. Both get past some difficulty. But both should be safe now that they are in Kakariko. So yeah, you get 20 rupees, 8 bombs, a pack of arrows, I think a single rupee, and also full magic. So, a fish close to Kakariko in Randomizer is pretty good. And some more bombs to top off. Piece of heart. 10 arrows, and what else? A sword! Alright! They got some combat potential now. All these items in only the first 5 minutes of the seed, even. I cannot wait to see what else we have in store. Oops. JJBlu accidentally wasting a bomb there, trying to hook shot to get a little bit extra time. And a bottle with a bee in it, so they can full clear Kakariko on their first pass. Outside of the library. And an armor upgrade as well. And merchant money. Oh yeah, of course, the bat as well. Both runners getting their flute online now. Now, this is just me, but personally, I'd be tempted to check Agina, but with the hookshot and the glove, yeah, no, I'd say go up the mountain in this seed. That's 7 items. You cannot ignore Paradox Cave. You just can't. There's even a fish in Kakariko Village over by the chicken house. This seed is just being very nice to start, but that might change later. And the Master Sword has been found. Okay, things are starting to look a little dreary. Master Sword might imply that we need to go fight Aghanim for our intended Darkhold access. But maybe the hammer or the glove's still out there somewhere. Or at least the hammer. And they won't be in that heart container. Oh! That's an interesting find there. So, notice the book going backward. JJBlu is doing a blind check of it. Will be rewarded with the book. And now that gives you access to check Desert out and see... Well, you can't finish the dungeon because you need a fire source. That's still potentially information that you'll need. But at the same time, that's also just giving us access to the Ether Tablet. And JJBlu not actually heading up the mountains yet. I actually am okay with this. Sticking to the those early game checks, making sure they don't miss anything they could have gotten immediately that could also be important to clearing an area more efficiently. Like maybe if there's a lamp, so we can do Harrow while we're up there, maybe. Or maybe there's another glove down here, so we can mix in Super Bunny. And nothing but a bunch of... I believe the name is Popo. Here in Mini Moldorm Cave. And that brings up the topic of kill rooms here. As we find the Moon Pearl, kill rooms have a failsafe coding so that they do not have red Igors or red Korea spawn in them. So things like the Palace of Darkness Bowlock doesn't really come into play until you're trying to go to the boss. And JJBlu checking the desert out, seeing the ledge is only a piece of heart, heading over to Agina. And so is gonna head up the mountain. So we're getting a little bit of divergence here. Always good to see. And JJ finds a shield. I also like what So was doing here. Braving the fact that randomizers also made the enemies in the dark randomized, so could be very dangerous enemies in there. But still tough it out. Both runners on the mountain now. JJ opting to not save the old man just yet. Piece of heart both on and inside is Spectacle Rock. And yeah, Dark Rooms can be on the difficult side as we get a master here. Misery Mire is the green pendant. I missed the 5-6 though. Maybe JJBlu will check here. Nope. But we do know we need at least one medallion. And there's the red mail. As I chat, it saw Palace of Darkness was the red crystal. So it's Pot Eastern for the Pyramid Berry. That's not too bad. And that's a good sight to see. That is the ice rod right there. That's a nice peace of mind. They don't have to hunt that down in case there's one or maybe even two Trinexes to fight. Still need the fire rod, of course, though. JJBlu leaving the dungeon because it is being firelocked. However, so as you can see, it is not leaving just yet. Using one of the new glitches known as Harapot. Gets inside and now will warp up to the top of the dungeon. Now, cannot get the big chest here, but if the big chest isn't the other item, which is now a 50-50 shot that it is, this might be a waste of time. However, so we'll know what the boss is. And we'll know that there's a good chance that boss might not appear anywhere else. And for this Molder Arena, it is Cold Stare. The Molder Arenas are special because they have only 5 bosses that can appear there. Cold Stare, Molder himself, the Moth, the Helmsor King, and Vitreous. So a boss like Trinex would not spawn on the top of Hera. Paradise Cave being checked in the meantime. Not much in there to speak of. I wonder where the sea wants us to go next. There's the bug catching net over on the floating island. And this is most likely the last check from JJBlu, and so here it will be the Spiral Cave. With the Hinox inside it. Ooh. Couple of good guesses in chat. If I were these runners, as we find half-hunted there on JJ's end, I'd probably go Eastern. There's a little bit more item density over in Eastern, plus you're making progress on a crystal dungeon instead of a pendant. And for all we know, Desert is completely boots locked, and we got no items to check. Could just be a key on the torch and then a map or compass in the center chest. JJBlu's gonna opt for the escape, though. That's a fine play. So if our runners wanted to be extremely safe for the bosses, they would now need the fire rod, I think. And nothing else. There's the mushroom. So did not save quit, instead is warping to 4. Also heading to escape, it looks like. Ropa guarding the locks here. A little bit tankier than your normal green guard. Alright, guarding our boss key is a lever. And Zelda Cell, 20 rubies. However, that 20 rubies does give us the 500 we need for Zora. So that's always good to have. Alright, JJBlu, where are you going next? Using the glove to check the back 3 chests of escape. Smart. Haven't seen the map, I think, and we haven't seen the small key. So I ideally want to see 2 items here. Unfortunately, that is not the case. There is an item in Dark Cross. And JJ's gonna go for it. There might be some dangerous things in the dark down here. So we see a Gibdo, we see a Wallmaster. Oh boy. Not unpleasant in Dark Room. Look at all those enemies you can see. And only for 3 bombs. Alright. I think it's safe to say they're going to be heading over to Eastern at this point. But maybe they'll surprise me and prove me wrong. Alright, JJ turning the mushroom, that makes some sense. And doing it just at the reset too, so that's actually smart. Because if JJ does not like what the item is, JJ can opt for a reset to save the mushroom for fake powder. Not opting for the reset, but is not picking up the item. Oh, gee. That's a terrifying warp point. Back of Hospital's house. 2 beats of heart. And I missed the 3rd item, unfortunately. So it's walking down and around. Just saw a menu there from So. I didn't see anything in that stood out to me as what could be the 3rd item. Ooh, Wall Masters in Eastern Palace. That's never a good sign. Alright, JJBlu's doing fake flippers. Got him heading over to Zora. More Zora money. A bottle of the gold bee in it. Well, that was a little underwhelming. Still upgraded the bee though, which is okay, I guess. 50 rupees on Zora's Ledge. So far, nothing of importance found in Eastern that I saw anyway. Lots of danger zones here. JJBlu smartly leaving the water. While all the Hinox around. Not exactly safe. And no big key yet for So. And for 500 rupees, King Zora gives us the Titan's Bits! Alright, that's Dark World access. Alright, time to head up. And Aghanim... Yeah, Aghanim is dead, unfortunately. We don't have the hammer, however, because Pod requires the hammer to reach the boss. The only other instance that could potentially be required is if the hammer's on Pyramid Fairy. But Pod requires the hammer to reach the boss, so that's kind of would be a no-win situation. But there is the situation that we have here that we don't have our access to Eastern Dark World. We need the flippers or the hammer to show up. So if hammer shows up, Aghanim's just done. And we have a cape there as well. And yeah, exactly my point there, as someone pointed out in chat. Pod is a 5/6 crystal. You need the hammer, so the hammer cannot be in Pyramid Fairy. But that is to say the hammer is not in Pod, along with the flippers, in which case we are hard required to do Aghanim just to get into that area. And something else to point out is that none of our 3 pendants are locked by the hammer. So it could be a hammer on Petsy, and what a scene would that be if that was the case? Both runners, of course, have the book, so they can check to see what the pedestal is. We'll most likely do that after checking out Skull Woods. And we have a shovel from JJ. So is going to be entering deserts. Ah, yes, the current jump, as it's called, the fake quiver setup in the Dark World. That would let them skip Aghanim, if it was the case. But if the flippers and hammer over there, logically it would require an Aghanim clear. There are ways around it. And that's an item in the center chest, which means we have a key on the torch, which means desert is boots locked. Which means boots cannot be unped, but at the same time, we need to find those boots before ped is in logic, which... Yeah, it's catch-22 there, isn't it? Alright. JJBlu is going to give us our first look at the Dark World proper, starting in the Village of Outcast portal. Village of Outcast is one of those annoying portals, unfortunately. It's fast to get in, but it's not convenient to get around. We'll have to walk all the way around the Dark World to get to checks like Hype Cave pretty fast. And I use that term very loosely. Lots of traps in this drop down. We got Beamos, we got it's fire snakes. It's so taking a death. And even if a pet is required this seed, we still also don't know the medallion promissory mire. So, let alone the boss, even. It's Trinex and... Oof. That'll be hard. Although we need a fire source regardless, but... The fire source could also just be a lamp. And JJ grab. That's not a great grab, because now JJ's all the way back here. Gonna wisely use the cape. And unfortunately, JJ takes a death. That is a pretty difficult room. Aghanim is dead unless we find... Well, actually, no. Aghanim is alive until we have access to the Eastern Dark World by logic. So Flippers or Hammer needs to be found. If both these runners know how to do the current jump setup for fake Flippers in the Dark World, then Aghanim is dead, as far as they are concerned. And Bumper Ledge has a bottle with a fairy in it. Interesting find there. JJ opting to grab the fairy. It makes perfect sense to do so. A little bit of extra safety doesn't hurt. And we could get the bug catching if we so choose. Thief running into them. So about to get Dark World access here. Not too far behind yet. But yeah, to explain to chat, Kern Jump is a trick found by the runner Kern, who obviously named it after himself. And it's basically, you go up to where the river is, as we find Ether, next to where the Dark World Potion Shop equivalent would be, and you hold a bomb, and then have it explode in your hands as you jump into the water, which is a transition down to where the bridge is, or the hookshot path is, so you can get across the other side from the eastern side. And then that sets a fake flipper, so you can get over to the east side. There's the hammer, though, so that's a big point. Aga's dead. And Speed Gaming, thank you for joining us. If you're not like viewership there, that's actually quite a lot of viewers, actually. But yeah, to catch anyone up to speed who's just now tuning in, we know there's a cold snare in Tower Hera. As far as bosses go, that's pretty much it. We just found the fire rod as well on JJBlu's end. This scene is also open up relatively quickly now. 32 minutes in and we got everything we got in terms of mobility except for the boots. And now it's time for Hype Cave. Named because in the past that it's had a lot of value. These days it's hit and miss. And today it was most definitely a miss. Digging coming over from JJBlu, maximum of 30 digs. $21 digs for 20 rupees. Eh. Not great. Not great. Alright, Bombless Shuttle is being checked now. And we do have a heart container. And JJ is turning into Smiths. Could it lead something good? And JJBlu's gonna take the chest along for a trip. Cave Salva Grove, otherwise known as Cave 45, only had a heart piece in it. Like it normally does, actually. And for a second I thought so mirror bonked by a single pixel. Thankfully that was not the case. Ah yes, the single arrow. Now, JJ does have the shuffle from Hookshot Cave. Opted not to check it, I think. I mean, it's fine. JJ can always just save warp and check it after, or come back from a safe warp. But still, something that could come into play later. And so with the Smith & Toe, does have a hammer as well. We'll be able to get hammer picks on the same time. And there is that killable thieves enabled for our runners. Killing a Dark World thief. They have their known name, but it escapes me currently. Carapace not paying out. And this... JJ is... Okay, for a second I thought JJ was entering Swamp. Anyway, both runners are going back over the location. And I just double checked the name. Apparently, the name of the thief, the official enemy name for the thief, Dark World Thief, is Pikku. Pikku. It's it's strange. There's a lot of strange enemy names here in the game. I'd actually believe that that was it's referencing lockpicking. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. JJBlu entering the Maya region now. And so, opting to go check the purple chest before checking in anything else. There's the hammer now for JJBlu. I missed the medallion for it, but it looks like our tracker, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, who was on the co-com actually for the first match of this doubleheader tonight, has scouted out that it was Ether for not only Mystery Mine, but also Turtle Rock, which I also missed. Alright, taking a poke around Thieves Town. Second chest is the big key. And this is another thing that's changed in Randomizer that most people don't catch right away. Blind is actually able to be fought immediately. You just got to walk up to the boss room. And JJBlu, meanwhile, is going to be checking out Skull Woods, getting some revenge, and finishing the dungeon. And to remind everyone in chat, Pedestal is still alive to some degree. We do need the boots because it is a boots-locked desert. We have a fire rod for the cold stare we know is in Hera. But other than that, we can still need the flippers for Argus, or Swamp in general, as well as the bow. And in Blind's Haida, we have Helmazor King. And we're getting a pet check. Pocket change. Not even couch cash. That it would be a green or a blue rupee on pet tonight. Attempting to do hammer strats here on Helmazor King, having a little bit of trouble, but gets him down all the same. And just because we've seen one Helmazor King doesn't mean there's a second one lurking out there somewhere. But as the first crystal of the match for 41 minutes in, JJBlu now are behind, is going to clear out whatever the boss is of Skull Woods here. Now, there is another restriction in play that matters here. Blind, or Trinex cannot appear down here in Mothula's arena. So this has to be something else, and it is a Vitreous sighting. Very difficult boss here to fight with Master Sword. And the moving terrain, no less. Thankfully, he can get in and be as aggressive as he wants because there's no slime for Vitreous to hide in. Wolves on the cave for the last few hits. Meanwhile, So is heading into the deeper parts of Thieves Town to finish collecting items. I think the spikes work to JJ's advantage in this fight. Yeah, quick and clean. And the boss key drops from Vitreous here in Mothula's arena. So now we know 3 bosses. Helmazor King in Thieves Town. Vitreous in Mothula's lair. And up in Tower Hera, we have the Cold Stare in Moldorm's arena. Now, those 3 bosses may show up again later on, or they can be the only instance of the bosses. We won't know until we see the rest. There's a bow, though, for JJBlu. So, it looks to be Canis Samaria and Flippers, and we are in go mode. We can definitely kill any boss that shows up fairly quickly. Now, we could still need boots, of course. Not for Desert, but maybe the GT Big Key Torch is on the torch. So it could be there. In that case, we need the boots. It's a 1 in 22, but it could happen. Alright, Kiki the Monkey has been paid off. Time to enter Palace of Darkness, see what we've got going on in there. Now, we logically need the lamp, I think, because the big key was in its vanilla chest. Here in Eastern Palace. Alright, both runners are just going back over them, so while we have a moment here, I do want to make sure you guys are following these runners here. They're putting an excellent race for us this day. And of course, once again, our tracker tonight is Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna, keeping me honest up here, and more importantly, keeping those items up to date for you down there. There's the bell for So. And So taking what I believe to be an intentional death to work for the front, although, yeah, probably want to refill his hearts as well. Yeah, we got a bomber in here. And yeah, the trap at barrier is gone. And there's the big key. So we'll get a look at 2 of the items here in Eastern, because I believe we've only got 2 items left. I'll be honest, I actually looked away and missed maybe one of them. Some extra health for JJBlu. Oh geez, which has the item? Which has the key? Is it? It's one of the Gibos, I think. There it is. So in the middle of the Vitreous fight. The less eyes Vitreous has, the more accelerated the frequency of the lightning becomes. Oh no! Got caught by one of the eyes. Oh, that's not a good room either. 3 pickets and 3 Henoxes. Yeah, definitely freeze that. And in the Armo spot, we have Trinex. . All right. So may not have to worry about a second try next, but if it does show up, we are ready for it. One more hit of the hammer. Nicely done. That puts JJBlu up to a 2 crystal lead for the time being. And someone's asking where the mirror was. Mirror actually was in Sanctuary. We had pretty much most, if not all, of our mobility access from the get-go of this seed. We are, of course, still missing the boots. The crystals are currently not tied at the moment. So died on Vitreous at Mofula and chose not to return. Gonna come back later with a better sword, I would assume. Or maybe the silvers. To which is also understandable. That is a pretty nasty location for Biddy to show up in. There's Ether now for so. JJBlu grabbing 2 small keys off of the hammerlock side. Pod is kind of strange in that 4 of its 6 small keys are always in the first 6 chests. Now, a lot of spear guards here. And so is setting up current jump. A little too early. There we go, gets it. And a key for key. That's 3 small keys, so odds are this is a small. Or one of the other items, that works too. And we'd probably only have gone left side if there wasn't a small key before, so we are good to go. Here in Palace of Darkness. And there is the 4th key. Catfish checks from so. There's the Cadus of Aria. What a Root Mega Spike placement. And there's the flippers. Alright, boots pending for Big Key. We're in no mode right now. So 1 in 22 no mode. So it just needs to go visit Helmosaur King in Palace of Darkness, and they will be clearing that dungeon. Now there is one concern going forward for either runner. Never mind, there's silver arrows. That makes the Ganon fight less trivial. Master Sword Silverless is not fun. Let's just put it that way. Now, of the two ways we can still use Master Sword or Silverless, I think JJBlu's gotten the slower of the two. I believe Tempered Sword might be a little bit faster, just due to not having to spin in the first few phases. And so far, we've only seen Cold Stare, Vitreous, Helmosaur King, Trinex. Yeah, that's it. We've only seen 5 of the bosses, and no duplicates have shown up. And so, could Fake Liver in an Ice Palace, and that would put him in a pseudo-go mode, or an analogical mode, if he didn't also have to do Swamp. Alright. Into the dark JJ goes. Now with the King of Samari and Sosans, we may be able to see a couple of fancy new glitches that were just recently approved by the Racing Council just this week. Nice use of the torch. We still don't have logical go mode because we don't have the lamp, but at this point it's a moot reasoning. Attempting to instant kill the Hinox, misses the bomb throw. And there's the Moth here in Helmosaur King's room. No space to hide on this time, and an easy fight. And here's Trinex for So now. So the boss we haven't seen yet, we haven't seen Moldorm, we haven't seen Lammolas, we haven't seen Armos Knights. We haven't seen Argus. And we haven't seen a Blind. So we're missing 5 bosses here. And at least 3 of those 5 bosses, from the other 5 we've seen, for the total of 10, have 1 duplicate. So we could have a second Trinex chilling out in Turtle Rock. We could have a second Blind somewhere as well. And down goes Trinex for So. JJ is going to check the Pyramid Fairy. And if JJ decides to go to Catfish, now would be the time. Otherwise, Catfish is going to be extremely isolated. So, meanwhile, we'll be getting into a go mode situation here as soon as So finds the flippers. And ideally, hopefully, also finds the silver arrows as well. Doesn't leave them behind. The Piglet eating JJ's shield. And it looks like JJ is heading over to Catfish. Alright. And ladies and gentlemen, at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 27 seconds, JJBlu is now officially in go mode. Boots pending. The only thing the boots lock is the Ganis Tower Big Key being on the torch. But we have all... We're going to be going through all our crystal dungeons. And right now, it does have a crystal lead on So, who has only done 2 crystals right now. Shovel has been picked up by JJ, has not been turned in yet. And it was found, I believe, in Hookshot Cave, which So has not been to. Alright, JJ's trying to fight Helmstar King here in Thieves Town. And at 1 hour, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, So is now in go mode as well. It is still a Master Silverless, or Master Silver's go mode, but it's still a go mode. And yeah, so was in go mode as soon as he picked up the flippers. But for that brief moment, I would assume that So didn't feel in go mode. Just because it was a Master Silverless go mode. And like I said, getting fights on Master Silverless are not fun. So thankfully those slivers give him a little peace of mind in that regard, I would assume. Anyway, time to see what Swamp looks like here on JJ's end. So has a lot of ground to make up going forward. The chest just spawned. All the enemies in this room, in this first room. Or the Cameron trap. That's hilarious. And this is a pretty fast seed for an Randomizer, I might add. Still got maybe another 40 minutes left, I'd say, just give or take. So he's working his way to Helmsor King's room, which has Mothra within. JJBlu, we don't know what the boss is down here. We haven't seen a duplicate yet. But at this point, it's a moot... Well, it's a moot point because we simply have all of the weapons we need to defeat every boss. And down goes the moth. And that is crystal number 3 for So. Still a whole dungeon behind JJ here. Map and compass in the flooded room of Swamp. Now, of course, JJBlu is in go mode, but is checking chests along the way just in case he finds maybe a tempered sword, I would assume, or more ideally the boots, which will let him have peace of mind to know he's in a confirmed 100% go mode. And it's Vanilla Argus. Just without any water here too, because of the, well, simplicity of how Randomizer works. A lot of bosses don't interact well with water. So this room gets its water removed. Bottle with a blue potion in it. So is entering Turtle Rock. I'm trying to figure out why So is entering Turtle Rock now instead of saving it for last. I think So maybe looking for the Tempered Sword before going back to fight Skull Woods and Vitreous. Either that or just chose to take care of this dungeon first. Well, we'll see what So's game plan is a little bit later on. Couple of fire bars. Lots of nasty enemies here. Looks like JJBlu will now be doing one of the new tricks we just included, which is known as Icebreaker. Basically, there's a wall to the right there that leads to what is the vanilla big key chest. And, recently improved that we can just flip right through it. JJBlu is attempting the Ice Palace ball jump here. May not work here at Randomizer due to a flying enemy in the next room over. Something about pixel shenanigans and all that. Yeah, something's afoot. And sure enough, a flying enemy. Three Armos and a couple of Babusa. Or Shadows if you prefer. This is like one of the few map edits you're going to see in Randomizer here. To accommodate this being a kill room, they open up the fence so that you can get over there and hit enemies with your sword if they are not vulnerable to projectiles. There's the lamp in Turtle Rock, or rather in Mimic Cave. So that puts us into a logical Boots potential go mode here. Just cave there, JJ. Come on, there you go. The health being low for JJ is really stressful right now. Gets to the worst of the room. of the elevator ride. There is the 4th bottle for JJ. And yeah, if you did Icebreaker, you'd clip past that barrier right there. You can just imagine how much time that would save if you could do that here in Ice Palace. That fire snake is completely trapped. Taros being a Taros. And we're about to see what the boss is of Turtle Rock. And we have Blind. Oh no, JJ! Oh. Had the fairy from the bumper ledge. That was really scary. Anyway, Blind is down on So's end. And there's a second Blind, so there's our first duplicate boss. So, we know there are no more blinds left in the game for our runners. Save for the other one they have yet to defeat on the respective end. Could still be 2 Trinexes, could still be 2 Cold Stares, but we don't know. But we know where at least one of those are each. And actually, we have seen every boss that can be in a Moldorm arena, except for Moldorm. So unless Moldorm is in one of our pendant dungeons, Desert or Misery Mire, as well, the only place he can show up, or unless we have another duplicate boss. Yeah, it's pretty safe to say we know the boss of Lambo 2 is going to be Lamola's. I said Lambo 2. I meant Moldorm 2. But yeah, Moldorm 2's boss could be in just being Moldorm. Or it could be another duplicate of one of the other bosses we've seen. So is now entering Swamp. Clear that out now. And this is JJ's final crystal. Has just defeated another blind. So, bosses we haven't seen yet. Armos Knights. Lamolas. We have yet to see... Actually, no, that's it. We haven't found on Armos Knights, we haven't found Lamolas. We've seen 2 blinds, so that blinds is done. So we have at least an Armos Knights fight somewhere. We have a Lamolas fight somewhere. And then the last 2 bosses are a duplicate. Oh no, we haven't fought Moldorm yet either, so we have 3 bosses that we haven't seen yet. And 2 of those bosses could have a duplicate. And we're seeing another new trick here from So. And sets up a diver down. I've never seen that set up before. That's actually pretty cool. So yeah, we haven't seen the Armos Knights, we haven't seen Lammolas, and we haven't seen Moldorm. Pretty safe to say we have a Moldorm at the top of Agate Tower, or Ganon's Tower. At this point. So of the 4 remaining locations, we have an Armos, a Lammolas, and then the other 2 duplicate bosses. The other 4 locations being Desert, Mire, Ice Armos, and Lammo 2. Alright, so now heading over to Ice. Leaving the Vitreous he died on for last. Now this is still quite a long dungeon here for JJ. Only about halfway done. Alright. We are not... Oh, we are seeing it. We are seeing Icebreaker on Sozen. With the crystal switch in advance. And there he goes. And JJBlu through the dark room of Turtle Rock. Did save a key as well, so JJ will be heading over straight to the Trinex. Or rather, the other blind. We'll probably equip the cave for this fight. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, fight's almost done. One more set of 3 hits for blind. And down he goes. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the 7th crystal. And we have a game we like to play, and we have to play fast. There are 22 chests in the basement of Ganon's Tower, but only one location of those 22 can have our big key. Give us a number in chat and tell us where you think the big key is going to be today. If you're mean, you wanted to be on that torch. I'm going to say it's going to be on chest location 6. Nice and early. And there's the second blind from So now. And yeah, you didn't have a lot of time to get your guesses in, folks. We're closing it as soon as we see JJ enter the stairs. And we are not wasting any time. Is this? No, it is true Groma for JJBlu. He does not need bombos. Three enemies in the room. 2 die instantly. Third one just get hammered. Chest number 2. Compass. Chest number 3. Small key. We count the torch even though we see it. Chest number 4 is the big key. Chest number 5 is the heart container. Great luck there from JJBlu. Now, if only he went in to check Hope Room first. Preach has won the big key guessing game today here on our end. And congratulations to you. Hope I pronounced your name right. Now, I surmise JJ might check the upper floor chest here of Ganon's Tower. And only because Tempered Sword, it's so much better to have on Ganon. But other than that, played the seed extremely well. That red bubble is not letting So walk on that seam. Alright, time for the gauntlet. A whole slew of enemies here to fight. All these are kill rooms. Using Ether to just quickly dispatch the foes. Saves a lot of time. Use a fair bit of magic. And still making short work of Vitreous. That is his 7th crystal now in the match. And there's our other boss. It is a second moth. So I think it's safe to say we have a Moldorm over the top of the tower. Either that or we have a third duplicate boss. Which can only be Vitreous, is Helmasaur King, or Cold Stare at this point. We have seen 2 moths. That's all the moths we're going to be seeing for the rest of the game. So it's either Moldorm, Helmasaur King, Vitreous, or Cold Stare. And given that we haven't seen Moldorm yet, pretty safe to say it's going to be Moldorm. JJ being well topped off of resources here. So is on his way to against. I'm sorry, I just saw the Tauros there and I completely lost my train of thought. He just went into the wall, completely gone. I don't know how that happened. JJBlu gonna wait and get up here. Oh, that Megas fight might think things a little daunting. Oh boy. Oh man. And there's the shovel that JJBlu has never turned in, actually. So that Megas fight is in a really bad location. Gonna have to take the damage boost and just go around like that. Checking the chest for Tempered Sword, does not find it. Not that chest either. So is entering Ganon's tower now. And it is a Moldorm up here on the top. And down goes Moldorm. And we'll see if the final chest is open to see if we got anything else here. And so finds a small key, is going right side here in Ganon's castle. Or Ganon's tower, rather, sorry. And now it is time for the Aghanim 2 fight. Teleports are seated for fairness on the first instance of the fight. Reflection shots to win. Clones always shoot the shot you can reflect back. Aghanim can opt to shoot a non-reflectable blue ball. Blue boomerang found. Blue cane found. Or so. And some bombs as well. And with Aghanim 2 down for JJBlu, it is now time for him to fight the pig. Master Sword in hand. Slashes do not work on Ganon with Master Sword. You must do spin attacks, and it'll be 12 spin attacks to advance the first 2 phases of the fight. Each. Afterwards, 4 more spin attacks in phase 3 to advance that and proceed to the final phase, the Darkness Technique. Keep the torches lit, do a spin attack to stun him, and then let loose 4 silver arrows while he is stunned to win the day. If the silver arrows were not found, or he runs out, It is 6 spin attacks per missed arrow for a total of 24 spins as he teleports away. This is why Master Silverless is a very difficult fight. That is a lot of spins to maintain and concentrate. Looks to be getting good set up here. Still has one more phase left. Stirring Magic. Should be in phase 3 now. No, not in phase 3. Still needs a couple more hits. And this is where the time stay for Tempered Silvers versus Master Silvers are coming to play. Minimizing time between cycles here in the second phase. These teleports are seeded also for the first instance of the fight. Afterwards, they will be at the mercy of the RNG if they have to reattempt. What we don't want to see is Ganon park himself near the torch. That's a good spot for him. Ooh! Almost fell off there. Does not get the torch glitch, which keeps the right torch from ever burning out. Oh! JJ, you're making me nervous here. Stop that. Gets a Silverless hit in. And that will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, get your G's in chat for JJBlu. A very nail-biting fight there with Ganon. But has won the day here for his team for Feline Paralysis with an official first place time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 29 seconds. GG's to JJBlu and to Team Feline Paralysis. Who, starting this week, was 0-4, I might add. So getting some points here in the Dark World Conference Skullwoods division. And I see we are going to be joined by JJBlu right about now, so JJBlu, thank you for joining us, and GG to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks everybody for commentating and watching.
So that Ganon fight was nail-biting, to say the least.
That's an understatement. If you guys were biting it, I was like, oh my god, this is not going how I think it should be right now. Stop it.
And yeah, the opening of the C2 was just amazing, really, if you think about it.
Oh yeah, it was... Whew, I did not expect all those items. I was like, okay, are we gonna just get go mode in the first 10 minutes? Seriously?
Sure felt like it.
Oh man, but I probably am gonna assume that I was a little different than my opponent, probably some of the routing throughout the game, because I did some not normal choices as far as how I routed this.
Well, you actually did an excellent job with the Vitreous in the Modular Arena. Your opponent, unfortunately, died during that same fight. And left it for last as a result.
Oh man, but just I wish I knew where boots were or another sword. I mean, I skipped a lot of chests at the end, but I checked the ones convenient in the hopes of hitting something.
Never found them. Never found the boots, never found the sword. Did find the lamp, though.
Who needs a lamp?
Considering this is Randomizer, I'd actually prefer to have it, just so I don't have to worry about the enemies in the dark rooms.
I mean, that's reasonably fair. But I never found it. Where was it at?
It was a Mimic Cave.
Yeah, I debated checking that, but I just thought it wasn't worth the time for the small chance of getting something. But man, that means that the game expected you to find Fire Rod and Hammer and go to T-Rock early to do all the other dungeons I did. It's an interesting routing thought game.
Yeah, it's even more interesting, although maybe humorous for you and your team. The gloves were on Catfish.
Yeah, both races, because I watched the first one, and I was like, are you serious? Is this even a different seed? Like, in my head, I was like, I know this is a different seed, but it was just so weird to see the gloves there again.
It was certainly weird. I did also tune in to see a little bit of that first race as well. But yeah, mirror, flippers, hookshot, or not flippers, mirror, flute, and hookshot in the first like 5 minutes. That was just nuts.
Yeah, it really was. Oh man. I honestly was starting to think it was gonna force us to do Aga too, because we had everything to do it minus lamp, and I'm like, watch, it's just gonna give us lamp, and it's gonna be an Aga seed actually required this time.
Turns out that was not the case, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully.
So did find the hammer sooner, but that's how it goes. Never did check that shovel though, did you?
Well, I was going to check it after I did Big Bomb and those, but I kind of got in go mode after that, so...
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it just never happened at that point.
Yeah, according to the end epilogue, it looks like it was just a piece of heart.
Ah, well, then I'm happy I didn't, because I don't really want pieces of heart.
Yeah, the armor upgrades were also very early as well.
Oh, because we got both armor upgrades, I was very much down to just doing the dark rooms without the lamp at all early, because I was like, I can take hits now, so whatever, let's just do it. Sadly, nothing really came of that early, since I did Uncle, the Back of Escape, and a few other checks here and there early. I'm also thankful that I chose not to go into Thieves when I had Hammer earlier, because I don't like to go in there without the Hammer, and I ended up getting to go mode the dungeon, so...
Well, as we see down your opponent's end, and we have to give our GGs in chat to So15, who has just put the final silver errand again and is about to cross the threshold. GG's to him. So we'll finish in second place here with an official S-Final time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Yeah, GG to So. It was a good race with him, sure.
It was indeed. And next week starts the Mystery Seeds. Something you can't really prepare for, can you?
Well, the best thing you can do is just be familiar with all the modes available. I chose this week as the only week I would prefer not to race, because I personally don't want to have to deal with inverted if it shows up. I don't like inverted that much. I know some people do, but it's not my cup of tea. And if I got it, I would just not have a good time.
So it'll be your other two teammates racing next week, I believe, in that case, yes?
Correct. And then I'll be racing it out throughout the end after that.
So cross keys onward.
Oh yeah, I love me some cross keys. It's a lot of fun, actually. I can at least say though, our second week match we got out of the way. That was some amazing players on that team. I was totally fine losing last week because my opponent was the runner-up in the German tournament, so I was totally fine with losing by about 5 minutes to them. They were an amazing player.
And something we haven't mentioned yet, shout-outs to our Portuguese restream team over on I don't remember the name even of the channel, but they're most likely interviewing So right now.
Nice. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and say all the love out to everybody. Thank you for tracking. Thank you for hosting, restreaming, commentating, and everybody watching. Without any of you guys here, none of this would be even happening.
Indeed. And thank you for running as well. I don't know if So will join us over here in the English side of things, but if he shows up, I'll chat with him a little bit.
I'm thinking in our race chat, they said they were just going to go to the other side on the Portuguese channel and stay over there. That's what I'm reading, I think.
Yes. Okay, yeah, So was declined the English side of the interview here for us, folks. But make sure to follow both of our runners here. They put on an excellent race for us today. Of course, make sure to also follow Speed Gaming 2 through 6. You don't miss any racing action, not just the ALTTPR Randomizer League. We also feature restreams on the races here for the league at the ALTTPR League and the ALTTPR League 2 through 4. Coming up in the near future in terms of races for us, though, on the league. Started actually 20 minutes ago. Both ALTTPR League and ALTTPR League 2, both of those channels, actually have a race going on. Team Hot Dish versus Team I Like Big Boots. Sneaky Woman versus again, it's going wild is on the main ALTTPR League channel. And Team The Long Shots versus Team Pug Trio, Zelda Fan versus Futon. That is over on the ALTTPR League 2. And then join us later tonight on the ALTTPR League 3 for 16-bit nerds versus third strongest mole, Floyd versus Virtua Cat. And then we have a few matches for you tomorrow as well across the afternoon. That's going to about do it for us here, folks. Once again, make sure to follow our runners here. They put on an excellent race for us. Make sure to also follow my tracker, Mr. Scrub Ninja 2, who was also the commentator on the first race of this back-to-back tonight. And of course, you can follow me as well if you so choose. But with that all being said, folks, that's going to do it for us here. So from all of us here at A Link to the Past Randomizer League, I have been Wolfling0370, and we shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.